Welcome to the Good Morning from the Chicken Coop podcast with Kim Johnson, your creative strategist and master mindset coach. Filled with inspiration, distinctions, perspectives, and possibilities, we help you to cultivate a mindset that leads you to create the best version of yourself you could ever imagine. Join Kim every morning from one of her favorite happy places, her chicken coop, along with all her chickens.
Hey everybody, good morning from the chicken coop. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about what happens when you get into an argument. Because I think that, it's inevitable if you're a human being, you're going to get in an argument with another person, maybe many people. You're going to argue with yourself about things. You're going to definitely argue with other individuals that are in your family, friends, whatever it might be. There will be arguments that will ensue. And when they take place, how you handle it is everything. How you handle yourself in the argument is everything. But really, quite frankly, how you deal with that argument and what that means to you is going to be a huge factor in your healing process and moving forward in it. But it's also just an emotional growth spurt for us as human beings if we can understand our offenses, why it happens, and moving forward. So let's just talk about the fact that, okay, let's say you get into an argument with your spouse, your partner. It could be anybody that's pretty close to you. And if you're close with somebody, it is definitely evident that you will get into an argument with that person because it's next to impossible to be with a person for a good period of your life and not have a serious argument at some point in time where you are in such a disagreement and you just don't like each other. And I often will joke around and say, hey, I love my husband beyond words and beyond measure, but there doesn't mean I don't want to throat punch him some days. And it is true. And it is possible to feel two things at the same time, and one of them is anger and one of them is love. And how you handle yourself to get past it so that you can move on and truly create something and not take it with you is a major factor in self-development and health, mental health. So let's say you have an argument with somebody and you know in your mind you were right, because we're always thinking we're right because that's our position. So we are always going to hang on to the fact that we are right. And maybe we are right. Maybe there is a point where we are right. But it doesn't matter. We're not talking right and wrong right this minute. What we're talking about is how you move past it. But in your head, you're still thinking about the right thing. So the very first thing you have to discern is that you don't need to hang on to being right if you're choosing to be happy, okay? And I think that's an important distinction. If you want to be happy with the other person, you have to choose to be happy. Now, I'm assuming in this conversation that you don't want to get rid of the other person, that you do want to stay with the other person. Now, this is a completely different story. If you've decided, I just don't want to be with this person anymore, I don't want to have this person in my life, whether it be friends, employee, partner, whatever it might be, spouse, if you have made a hard decision that you don't want them there anymore, then the strategies are different. But I'm going to assume for this conversation that you do want to have the person there and that you do want to be happy. So you have to remind yourself, first and foremost, my most important thing in my life is to be happy, because if I'm happy and I'm focused on being happy, then I can heal myself. I can heal the aggravation. I can heal what's going on, and I don't have to hang on to it. And as Gandhi said, I refuse to allow others to walk through my mind with their dirty feet, which just basically boils down to meaning I'm not going to let somebody else and their anger or whatever they did to me stay with me. And that's what we're talking about. You're just not going to allow it to stay with you because it's more important to move on and be happy. So let's assume you want to do that. And you say, I want to be happy. Okay. And then 3 minutes later, you're still irritated with it. So what do? How do you get past this? And I think I hear this so often that it really is something to be addressed within yourself if this is coming up for you often. If you are finding yourself constantly having these moments where you're just so aggravated and you can't seem to let go of it and move on, and let go of it and move on, just truly let go of it and move on. Well, for me, the trick that I find that works the most is to remind myself that only I am in charge of what goes on in my head. Nobody else. I don't want to let other people be in charge of it, because if I do, then how can I possibly take care of my own mental health and well-being if I'm letting other people come in and make decisions in my head for me? So what stops me from getting hooked and staying hooked, that's the key, staying hooked, doesn't mean I don't get hooked, it just means I don't stay hooked, is just reminding myself, hey, hold on here, I gotta pause, because I'm not gonna let this keep getting me. Now, will it happen multiple times throughout the course of, the day or the week if it's something big? Sure, but I have to keep reminding myself repeatedly, no, this is not what we said. We said it was important to be happy. We said we were going to move forward. You mended it with the other person, and even though you said, fine, let's just move on, I was still aggravated. You can't let it stay with you because you made the choice to move forward. And you have to stop yourself from looping back to it, because the next time that person has an offense, the next time that person does something, you're going to be going into this mode of stacking where you're putting multiple things on top of each other. So it's, the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. We have to avoid that, because it's very easy to stack events. And when you're mad about one thing, not really. You're mad about 25 things that you've still been hanging on to, and you've never really let them go, which is what this conversation is about. Angry? Yes, you can be angry. Can you hang on to it? No. The longer you hang on to it, the more you suffer, because it eats away at you and it chips away at you. So, do you have to continuously chip back at it and say, nope, that's not the way I'm going to be. Nope, that's not what I'm thinking about. Nope, that's not how this is going to go. 100%. And you have to remind yourself over and over and over, this is not who I choose to be. This is not the way I choose to show up. I chose to let it go. I choose happiness. And you move on. And then that person or those people, nobody has any power over you at that point, because you get to decide what things mean to you. If you want to be angry, but do it consciously. And I will always tell you that, angry will move you, but happiness will thrill you, and happiness will put you in a better place, and you'll attract more of the things you really look for. So always look for that place that you can let go, mend the bridges, do what you need to do, especially if you've decided you want to stay in the relationship. So once you bottom line that, then it's all about moving up from there. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a blessed day, everybody. Bye.